You know those days when you put on your favorite pair of jeans or that perfect dress, and it feels just right. Everything's in place. You're ready to take on the world. But by the end of the day, you notice something. Your clothes don't feel quite so fresh anymore. In fact, they feel a bit stale. I've had my fair share of these moments, especially when I wear something tight. I remember a time when I wore this beautiful, form-fitting dress to a family event. I looked in the mirror, and I felt great. But by the time I got home, it was like I'd been walking around in a sauna all evening. And no, it wasn't the heat. It was the smell. That subtle musty, I've been sweating in this all day kind of smell. So let's talk about why tight-fitting clothes can be a problem. When we wear clothing that hugs our body, especially when it's made from materials that don't breathe well, it doesn't just look snug. It traps heat and moisture. And this, my friends, is a recipe for odor. Here's the science behind it. Tight clothes compress your body, especially in areas like the waistline and underarms, where sweat glands are working overtime. These clothes don't let your skin breathe, so moisture stays trapped against your body, mixing with bacteria. And guess what happens next? You start to smell like you've just come back from a run, whether you've been running or not. Now, let's break it down a little. We've all been there. You wear something tight and figure, I'll be fine. I've got deodorant on. But the thing is, deodorant or perfume can only do so much when the sweat is literally trapped under that tight fabric. Think about it like this. Your body is trying to cool itself off, but the fabric is preventing that process. So your sweat doesn't evaporate the way it's supposed to, and your clothes end up holding on to that damp, warm, and yes, smelly air. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to give up on looking stylish just because we want to avoid the musty aftermath of tight clothes. We just need to be a little smarter about what we wear and how we wear it. First off, it's all about the fabric. Synthetic materials like polyester, nylon, and spandex are famous for trapping moisture. They might be great for athletic wear, but if you're wearing them as day-to-day clothing, you might want to reconsider. These fabrics don't breathe, and they hold on to moisture longer than natural fabrics like cotton or linen. So, next time you reach for that super tight outfit, ask yourself, is this going to trap sweat? If the answer is yes, maybe for something a little looser. Speaking of looser, that's the second trick. Loose-fitting clothes. I know it's easy to think that tight clothes look more flattering, but a looser fit actually gives your skin the space it needs to breathe. And trust me, you'll feel fresher for it. Instead of that skin-tight dress, try something that gently drapes over your body. It's a small change that can make a huge difference. And here's a simple hack that's been a game changer for me. Wearing an undershirt or moisture-wicking layer under tight clothes. It might seem like an extra step, but it's worth it. The undershirt acts as a buffer, soaking up the sweat before it has a chance to make your outfit smell. It's like having a secret weapon against body odor. Plus, when you wear breathable fabrics underneath, your outer clothes stay fresher for longer. But what if you've already worn something tight for a few hours? And now you're stuck with the smell. Don't worry, there's a solution for that, too. A quick fix is to carry a mini deodorant or body spray in your bag for a little refresh, especially in areas like your underarms or along your waistband. It's not going to completely eliminate the issue, but it can help mask the scent and make you feel a bit more confident as you go about your day. The takeaway here: tight clothes are not the enemy. It's the combination of fabric choice and lack of breathability that causes the problem. So, when you choose fabrics that breathe and make room for airflow, you're doing yourself a favor. You'll feel more comfortable, fresher, and yes, younger. Because the last thing you want is for your clothes to start telling people your age by how they smell. Next time you pick out an outfit, remember this. It's not just about how it looks, it's also about how it feels. And by choosing the right fit and fabric, you'll stay cool, fresh, and confident. Let's leave the tight clothes for special occasions, when we're ready to look and feel our absolute best, without any of the sweaty aftermath. All right, let's talk about synthetic fabrics. Now, I know these materials have been a game changer in the fashion world. They're stretchy, they come in vibrant colors, and they're often more affordable. But here's the thing. They might be doing us more harm than good when it comes to trapping smells and making us appear older than we really are. You know the drill. You're shopping for a cute top or a new pair of leggings, and you're drawn to that sleek, smooth texture of polyester or nylon. It looks great, right? But after a few hours of wearing it, something changes. That fresh, crisp feeling starts to fade, and you're left with something else. Something that's a bit more stale. I'm sure you've experienced it. The fabric doesn't breathe, and that's where the problem starts. But let's break this down, shall we? First, let me give you a little insight into how synthetic fabrics work. Or rather, how they don't. Unlike natural fabrics like cotton, linen, or wool, synthetic materials don't have the ability to let air flow through them. So your body gets a bit trapped. Sweat, heat, and moisture accumulate underneath. And before you know it, your clothes start holding on to those smells. This doesn't just happen after a long day either. Even after a few hours, you can start to notice that synthetic fabrics hold on to odor in a way that natural fibers simply don't. And let me tell you, this doesn't just apply to activewear or gym clothes. Oh no. It applies to those adorable tops, dresses, and even sweaters we wear every day. I remember buying a beautiful polyester blouse I just couldn't resist. It had that soft, flowing texture that was so flattering. But by the time I got home, I could smell a faint sour scent starting to creep in. And I was thinking, why does this always happen? I haven't even done anything strenuous. The thing is, synthetic fabrics are notorious for not allowing sweat to evaporate. Instead of letting it dry, the moisture just sits there, right on your skin, creating an environment where bacteria can thrive. And when bacteria mix with sweat, well, that's when the smell starts to develop. Now, I'm not saying synthetic fabrics are the devil. They've got their place in our wardrobes, no doubt. But they do require a little more attention when it comes to smell management. So what can we do to combat this? For starters, it's all about moderation. I'm not suggesting you throw out every polyester top in your closet. That would be a bit drastic. But we need to be mindful of when and how we wear these clothes. If you're going to be out and about for hours, or if you're going to be in a warmer environment, consider choosing fabrics that breathe. Natural fibers, like cotton, linen, or bamboo, work wonders. They're breathable, and they allow moisture to escape, so your clothes stay fresher for longer. But if you love the look and feel of synthetic fabrics, don't despair. I've got some tips that will help you get the most out of them without falling victim to their musty side effects. Here's the secret. Layer smartly. Wear a breathable undershirt or tank top underneath your synthetic clothes. This creates a barrier between your skin and the synthetic fabric, absorbing moisture before it can be trapped. Think of it like a safety net. Your undershirt catches the sweat, and your synthetic top stays looking fresh. Bonus points if the undershirt is made from a natural fiber like cotton, or moisture-wicking material. Another trick? Freshening up throughout the day? Now, I know you can't always stop to change outfits in the middle of a busy day, but carrying a little deodorant spray or a body mist can be a lifesaver. I keep a small bottle in my bag for quick refreshes, especially when I'm wearing something that tends to trap heat, like a polyester blend. It doesn't just cover up the smell, it helps prevent it from getting worse. If you're looking for longer-lasting results, try washing your synthetic clothes regularly with a fabric freshener or a little vinegar in the wash. The vinegar acts as a natural deodorizer, cutting through any trapped smells without damaging the fabric. And here's a pro tip. Dry your clothes in the fresh air whenever possible. Synthetic fabrics love to trap moisture, so getting them out in the sun can help them breathe and keep them smelling fresh. But here's the bottom line. While synthetic fabrics aren't always the enemy, you have to be mindful of how you wear them. They can trap smells. They can make you feel overheated, and ultimately, they can make you seem older than you are. The key is balance. Choose the right fabrics for the right moments, and don't be afraid to layer or freshen up throughout the day. It's all about staying ahead of the game and smelling your absolute best. And remember, fresh clothes equal fresh confidence. If you're wearing something that lets your body breathe, you'll feel lighter, younger, and more put together. Trust me, that feeling makes all the difference. Now, let's talk about something that I know we've all been guilty of at some point. Wearing clothes that are just a little too tight. You know, the ones that make you feel like you're squeezing into a pair of jeans or a top that, while flattering at first glance, turns into an uncomfortable trap after just an hour or two. I'm talking about those outfits that look amazing when you put them on, but after a while, the fabric starts pulling in all the wrong places, and let's be real, doesn't smell all that great either. You see, there's a reason why we're told time and time again to wear clothes that fit our bodies, not just in terms of style, but also in terms of comfort. Clothes that are too tight, especially around areas like the waist, hips, or arms, don't just limit your movement. They can contribute to something far less glamorous: odor and discomfort. Let's break it down. When clothes are too tight, they don't allow your skin to breathe properly, and this leads to trapped sweat, which means your body's natural oils and moisture have nowhere to go. That excess moisture, well, it creates the perfect breeding ground for bacteria and yeast to thrive. And if you've ever been in a situation where you felt like you couldn't wait to get home and take that tight outfit off, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not just uncomfortable, it starts to smell too. And I'm not talking about a fresh, subtle scent. No. I'm talking about a funky, sour smell that comes from the combination of trapped sweat, bacteria, and lack of airflow. But it's not just about smell. Tight clothing also puts strain on the body in other ways. Constant pressure on certain areas like your waistband or your thighs can lead to skin irritation or even fungal infections. The skin doesn't get the chance to breathe or recover, and friction between the fabric and your body can cause rashes or discomfort. I remember wearing this one skirt for a dinner party, which, when I first put it on, fit like a glove. It was cute, it was flattering, but by the end of the night, I couldn't wait to peel it off. Not only did I feel restricted, but I could tell that my body had been sweating and shifting in places that just weren't comfortable. And the smell, well, let's just say I knew it wasn't just my perfume that lingered when I took the skirt off. There was an unmistakable odor that came from the tight synthetic fabric, clinging to my skin for hours. It wasn't glamorous, that's for sure. So, how do we prevent this from happening? First and foremost, choose clothes that fit properly I know it's tempting to squeeze into that pair of jeans that's just a bit too small, or that dress that almost fits. But believe me, it's worth it to invest in clothes that fit your body right now, not the body you might have in mind for the future. You'll feel so much better when your clothes give you a little room to breathe, move, and most importantly, stay fresh. But let's say you're not quite ready to part with that tight dress or those skinny jeans. I get it. You don't have to give them up entirely, but you can make a few adjustments. For instance, layering can be a game changer. If you can't bear to give up your form-fitting top, consider wearing a breathable undershirt underneath. This gives you an extra layer of protection between your skin and the fabric, absorbing any moisture before it becomes a problem. Another option is to choose fabrics that are stretchy but breathable. Materials like cotton blends or natural fibers with a bit of elasticity will give you the fit you love while still allowing your skin to breathe. Stretchy fabrics that are also breathable, like cotton spandex blends, are much more forgiving and less likely to trap moisture and odors. Now, I know we all love a good pair of jeans that makes our legs look a mile long, but tight jeans can be especially tricky when it comes to odor and discomfort. So, when you do opt for a pair of skinny jeans, make sure they're made from breathable natural fabrics and that you're giving your skin some room to breathe. Try to switch to looser styles when you can, and I promise, your body will thank you for it. And here's the kicker. If you're wearing something tight, always take the time to freshen up during the day. Keep a small deodorant stick or body wipe handy for a quick refresh. This isn't about being insecure. It's about staying comfortable and keeping things fresh all day long. It's one of those little things that can make a world of difference in how you feel. Lastly, when you're shopping for clothing, always check the material before you buy. If it's too tight and made from synthetic fabric, it could be a recipe for disaster when it comes to both comfort and smell. Stick to natural fibers for daily wear, and save the tighter synthetic pieces for those special occasions when you know you're going to be able to slip out of them before things get too intense. At the end of the day, wearing tight clothing doesn't have to mean you're signing up for a day of discomfort or funky smells. Just remember that balance is key. Wear clothes that fit your body comfortably, give yourself room to breathe, and freshen up when you need to. You'll not only feel more confident, but you'll also avoid any surprises in the smell department. All right, ladies, we've talked about tight clothes, layers, and even the fabrics that make us feel fresh. Now, let's talk about something a bit more sneaky. Synthetic fabrics. They're everywhere these days, from activewear to office attire, and they can sometimes make us feel like we're doing everything right, but in reality, they're setting us up for a whole new kind of problem. Trapped odors. You know the ones I mean, right? The polyester, nylon, and other man-made fabrics that seem to promise comfort and durability. On the surface, they seem like a good idea. Lightweight, stretchy, and easy to care for. But here's the problem. Synthetic fabrics don't breathe, as well as natural fibers like cotton or linen. And when they don't breathe, that means moisture gets trapped against your skin. Sweat, body oils, and even the bacteria from your skin have nowhere to go but to sit there, creating a smell that just won't quit. Let me tell you, I learned this lesson the hard way. I used to love wearing my favorite polyester top because it was so easy to throw on, it didn't wrinkle, and it went with almost anything. But after a few hours, something started to change. What was once a cute and comfortable outfit turned into a smelly situation that even the strongest perfume couldn't mask. It was as if the fabric absorbed every tiny bit of sweat and body odor, trapping it in a way that made me feel less like a classy lady and more like I had been stuck in a sauna all day. Here's the truth. Synthetic fabrics are moisture resistant in the worst possible way. While they might keep you dry on the outside, they actually hold on to moisture on the inside. And that's the real issue. When our bodies sweat, whether it's from the heat, physical activity, or just daily life, the moisture has nowhere to escape. It collects in the fibers of the fabric, and unless you're washing that top immediately after wearing it, the odor will just keep building up. Think about it. You know when you wear a cute pair of leggings to your yoga class, and afterward, even after washing, they still seem a bit off? That's because synthetic fabrics hold on to that moisture and the bacteria that come with it. Even after a good rinse, the smell can still linger, and you might not even realize it's happening until it's too late. Now, I'm not saying we should all throw out every piece of synthetic clothing we own and revert to wearing linen and cotton 24/7. No, that's not realistic. But I do think it's time to rethink how often we wear synthetics, especially in situations where we're going to sweat or get a little hot. Here are a few things you can do to avoid getting trapped in that smelly situation. Choose natural fabrics when possible. Whenever you can, opt for clothing made from cotton, linen, bamboo, or other natural fibers. These fabrics breathe better, allow sweat to evaporate more easily, and generally keep things fresh. I'll be the first to admit that I've swapped out many of my synthetic tops for cotton ones, and I can't tell you how much fresher I feel. Plus, they're comfortable to wear all day without feeling like I'm locked in a moisture trap. Layer with breathable materials. If you just can't part with your synthetic garments, try layering them with breathable fabrics underneath. A cotton, camisole, or a moisture-wicking undershirt can act as a buffer between your skin and the synthetic fabric, absorbing sweat before it can soak into the outer layer. This simple trick can make all the difference in keeping you comfortable and fresh. Air your clothes out after wearing them. After a long day of wearing something synthetic, give it some air. Hang it outside or on a well-ventilated rack for a few hours before you toss it in the laundry. This helps prevent the smell from settling in and gives the fabric a chance to breathe before it's washed. It's a small step, but it can really help reduce odor buildup. Wash your clothes properly. This one seems obvious, but washing synthetic fabrics properly is a must. Be sure to follow care instructions and consider using a detergent designed specifically for athletic wear or odor control. There are also fabric fresheners and sprays that help neutralize the odors trapped in synthetic fibers. I've found that a good wash with the right detergent can make a huge difference in how fresh my clothes feel after wearing them. Invest in high-quality synthetics. Not all synthetic fabrics are created equal. Some of the newer, higher-end synthetics are designed to be more breathable and moisture-wicking. Look for activewear or clothing with moisture-wicking properties or fabric blends that mix natural fibers with synthetics to improve breathability. These fabrics are engineered to let sweat evaporate faster, so you can stay dry and fresh throughout the day. Here's the deal. Synthetic fabrics aren't inherently bad, but they can certainly contribute to that older scent if you're not careful. It's all about choosing the right clothing for the right occasion and knowing when to switch things up. If you're headed to a warm restaurant, a long meeting, or a full day of errands, be mindful of the fabrics you choose. Stay cool, stay comfortable, and keep the odors at bay. There you have it. We've covered how tight clothes, sweaty shoes, and synthetic fabrics can lead to unwanted odors that not only make us feel less fresh, but could also age us in ways we don't want. But the great news is that with a little bit of thought and care, you can easily prevent these everyday clothing pitfalls. It's all about wearing the right clothes, the right fabrics, and making sure that you're staying as fresh as possible, no matter your age. So the next time you pick out an outfit or slip into your favorite pair of jeans, remember, you don't have to let your clothes trap you in a world of odors and discomfort. You're aging with grace, staying fresh, and looking fabulous all the way. If you enjoyed these tips, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more savvy advice on staying fresh, fabulous, and feeling your best every day. And of course, leave a comment below, letting me know your favorite tip, or share any other tricks you've picked up along the way. Stay radiant, stay fresh, and remember, we're aging like fine wine, not forgotten cheese.